A circular reasoning? Yay. Are they going to say the witch of the past civilization awakened in his daughter? Honestly, I don't think there's any conceivable way that you can explain this. I honestly don't. Like, maybe you can make the assumption that that she's a descendant of the Great Witch Bazella, and somehow through DNA transference, she just remembers a scene that happened like 300 years. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. There's only one way to explain this contradiction. Espella somehow saw a dragon, but it wasn't a magical creature. And will you just tell us what it was? That event took place over 10 years ago. What she saw then should still be in the place where she was at the time. It's still there. Yes, Your Honor. That place is the Belfry. The Belfry. Over 10 years ago, the witness was standing somewhere around here when she saw a fire dragon, am I correct? Yes, Mr. Layton. However, what was it that you actually saw then? Let us see if we can find the answer to that question. Why not? Go ahead and try, but I have warned you that it's futile. You will find nothing here. Well, it happened a long time ago. Whatever she saw might not be there anymore. And if we want to see exactly what she saw at the time, we'll need to set the whole town on fire. Want me to go get matches? I may be an attorney, but even I couldn't clear you of the charges if you actually committed such a crime, Maya. I will pretend I did not hear that. Shall we begin? Is this a puzzle? I'm guessing it's the layout of the town. You know, like if you light torches in a specific area, then the fire dragon like appears. Oh. From my point of view, like on the 3DS, it is so much more bright than what is seen on the actual screen here. Let us look for the fire dragon. You can see the whole town from here. Look in every direction for something that would resemble Miss Cantabella's drawing. Oh look, it's a fire dragon. Yes, going with this.
Take that!
Bella, what do you think? I don't know. Doesn't look like the dragon I saw. Was right. Not right. I was right, not right. Seems so, unfortunately. I'm not done. I was just testing the waters. Mr. Wright, a gentleman should admit his mistake rather than try to cover it up with an unconvincing excuse. Excuse? What's that? That's what I get for imitating the professor. Nick, what was that about biased assumptions that the professor said earlier? They're what prevent us from seeing the truth. So let's approach this with our minds wide open, and eyes wide open too. Wait, hold on a second. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought this was all that I had. Fucking fools. Anybody see a dragon? I don't see a dragon. Right? I mean, that's what she drew. Does this really, like, keep your eyes open and stuff like that, though? You would have said it's machinery, but they ignore this obvious fact, and Layton is out to prove she's Bezella. Well, I mean, you can't create... Like, just think about the scene where the storyteller was supposed to die. How do you create a flying magical flame that roars and actually moves around in the air and then, like, homes in on something and then explodes it, you know? How do you do that? You don't. You can't.
Take that!
Spella, can you have a look at this? It looks like the dragon was hiding in here after all. Oh, this is... Hey, that's identical to the one Spella drew. But it's not the fire dragon. Fire dragon was a creature made of flames. It was so big it could swallow this whole tower. This is just some tiny fretwork. I think we can consider this mystery solved. I suggest we all head back to the court. We'll explain everything there. Is that all right with you, Mr. Cantabella? Gotten into Mr. Cantabella. He looks paler than you do with a cold. I've no idea. Let's follow the others back to the courtroom. So if the bell tower was spawned in, does that mean it was cloaked in reality and everyone just kept bumping into it and thinking nothing of it? Yeah, they haven't explained that either. Where did the bell tower come from and why did it show up when it did? The Inquisition's investigation seems to have yielded some unexpected results. But can someone explain them to me? Your Honor, the Inquisition will interpret the results of its investigation right after I save. Witness, you said you were about 6 years old at the time of that incident. Yes, that's right. Did you see the moment the dragon appeared above the town? Huh? No. I don't remember. I remember seeing it at some point. It was like a flash. The town was ablaze, and this fiery beast was hovering above it. And when you noticed the dragon, the town was already engulfed by flames. Yes. That information completes the picture. Miss Cantabella's statement was offered, or has offered me an insight into the true story of the fire dragon. Over 10 years ago, Miss Cantabella was in the belfry unconscious. What events led to this? Perhaps we will discover that in due course. When she awoke, the whole town was on fire. Having inhaled much smoke, she was still dazed. She was only vaguely aware of her surroundings when she looked up, alarmed by the scorching heat. Unable to stand, she was on her knees. And then, she saw something she would remember her whole life. She saw a terrifying fire dragon attacking the town. She saw it through the fretwork in the balustrade. The shape of a dragon against a backdrop of the town being swallowed up by flames became imprinted in her memory. That is the truth about the fire dragon. This is what I have deduced. It wasn't a monster? Miss Cantabella, the illustration you have drawn for us bears an uncanny resemblance. Yeah, you can be an artist. I mean, Look at that. To the fretwork in the belfry. You saw the dragon when you were confused, possibly mildly asphyxiated from the smoke. There is no magic and no magical beast. You believe a stranger, but not your father. That's so typical of teenagers. You should have listened to me. And now that all the mysteries have been unraveled, can we not end this trial and go home?
Objection.
Much as we'd all like to, I'm afraid it is still a bit too early for that. What else do you want from us? There's just one more problem I'd like to solve tonight. One more? What on earth could it be? I gotta sneeze. Miss Cantabella, you've ascertained that you were in the belfry when you saw the dragon. However, that creates a new question. How did you get there? Oh, I haven't thought of that. Yeah, neither have I. Oh, as expected of an ace attorney, Mr. Wright. Seems to have noticed the problem too at last. In order to access the belfry, you need to use the bell tower mechanism. The mechanism can only be set in motion with the pendants. Indeed, Miss Cantabella, did you have your pendant with you at the time? Yes, I think I did. I always had it with me. But why did I have that pendant? Can't remember it at all. This pendant is not just for show, it's the key to the belfry. Why was she carrying it around? You must also not forget that one pendant does not suffice to operate the contraption. 2 of them are required. 2 pendants. Miss Cantabella, are you certain that you were alone in the belfry? No, I wasn't alone. I was there with a friend. What friend? Gato. Eve, where did you go off to? Friend you mentioned, was it this cat? Yes, she's my best friend. We've always been together. Without Eve, I would have been so lonely. My kitty's always appearing out of nowhere to keep us Bella company. Of course she does. After all, Bazella is always accompanied by a black cat. What you saw from the bell tower when you were little was so terrifying that even an adult would have been scarred for life. The town burned in front of your eyes. You thought you saw a fire dragon. You see, your memories have been twisted by the horrors you saw. What do you mean? The dragon you saw wasn't real, and I suspect that the friend who was with you in the bell tower might not have been that cat. No, it was her. It was Eve, my only friend. Miss Cantabella, the pendant needed to access the belfry is too large for a cat. Are you following? If Eve was with you, it would have been impossible for you to enter the belfry. Wait, Inquisitor, where is all this going? You have no right to tamper with my daughter's memories. You're right, of course. However, neither do you. Nor should you attempt to cover up the truth. Wrong, he was my only friend. Think about that day again, Miss Cantabella. You were at the top of that bell tower with a friend who also had a pendant. I'm going to be 100% honest here. I don't understand why anything that's going on right now is important. We've established that magic is not real. We've established that the town is fake and is a company experiment. Like, the trial doesn't have to go on. We've established that witches aren't real. This place is just an experiment. And presumably we can leave whenever we want. So what's the point of unraveling the mystery of what she saw at the bell tower and who was with her and all that stuff. Like, it just makes no sense why that's important. I'm sure they'll further elaborate on this. But, you know, like, presumably, Darklaw, her name, her younger self was Eve, and Eve died to the flames 10 years ago, and instead of actually dying, she became a shade, and Darklaw is her best friend, or something along those lines. I mean, you have to die to become a shade, right? So, you know, that's the only way Darklaw could be a shade. Well then, why don't we have the defense present some evidence? Why me? Can you prove that someone was with Miss Cantabella in the Belfry that day? Oh, I'd very much like to see the evidence. What? Why me? It was the professor's idea. I have nothing on the legendary fire. Why ask me for proof? Right, I suppose you wouldn't have any proof. Not one of us remembers that incident. Had enough of this, Your Honor. You have no grounds to continue this trial. I would agree. Well, we appear to have reached a dead end. There is nothing else for us to do.
Objection.
Please hold on, Your Honor. What is this, all of a sudden? Inquisitor Layton. The defense does not have the necessary evidence, but someone else does. What do you mean? This time, the Inquisition will present its evidence. Inquisition? I did not do that. You son of a witch. Is this what you wanted from the very start? This is what you wanted from the very start, isn't it? Well, in that case, the Inquisition shall present evidence. What the heck? Why am I presenting evidence? Why? Layton's adamant on finding out the truth. He walked into this trial and he said, Espella Cantabella is the Great Witch Bazella, and I am here to prove it. We have proved the exact opposite. In every conceivable way. I mean, it has to be the picture.
Have a look.
Have a look. This is the proof. This photograph shows Miss Cantabella with a friend. Golly, this is the finest illustration I have ever seen. It's a photograph. It looks as if it were a reflection of the real world on paper. Tell me, who created this exquisite work of art? Well, Your Honor, I understand you are fascinated, but let us focus on what this picture shows. I'm glad they did this, because if they glossed over the photograph part, that would have been not good. I should save. Apparently, I'm going to be losing credibility as the defense for supplying wrong evidence as the prosecution, which is insane. Get me out of here, man. This picture was found in the Storyteller's Tower. Mr. Cantabella, we have taken the liberty of borrowing it for this trial. AKA, we broke into your house. We stole some stuff, and now we're using it to slap you in the face. It's enough to look away for a second, and you already caused trouble. Professor, aren't photographs against the rules? I mean, this is supposed to be a medieval setting. Who cares? What's important now is helping Miss Cantabella to grasp the truth. In this case, the end justifies the means. Please take a close look at the two girls in this picture. Each of them is wearing a pendant. Why, that's so. These are the Belfry contraption pendants. We know that one of these girls is Miss Cantabella. But then, who's the other girl? Accused, do you have any idea? Bella, are you okay? Doesn't look like she is. It's me. And the other girl is. These I don't know. Bella. Runner, stop this trial. Stop it right now. Can't you see you're driving Isabella into insanity?
Objection.
Just the opposite, Mr. Cantabella. We turn away from the truth now. Isabella will close herself to the world forever. Mr. Wright? Yes? You know what it is, or you know who it is, don't you? You know the identity of the other girl in this picture. That's so. If the defense knows that, tell us all who this other girl is. This is so stupid. The defense is like, aha. I present this evidence. Now you tell me who this is. And if I get it wrong, which I won't, then they're like, burn the witch. It's so stupid.
Take that!
It's so stupid. What is going on? I'm thinking it's High Inquisitor Darklaw. High Inquisitor Darklaw? I cannot say I didn't have slight suspicions about her, but oh my. Miss Cantabella, what do you say? Do you now remember the girl next to you in this picture? Her name is Eve Darklaw. This was Lady Darklaw. This is crazy. What are you basing this preposterous claim on? But Mr. Cantabella, this girl closely resembles the High Inquisitor. Resembles? That's just your personal opinion. It's meaningless in a court of law.
Objection!
You want evidence? I've got it. What? The definitive proof that the girl in the picture is High Inquisitor Darklaw. Hint coin, please. Okay, I guess that makes sense. We've already established that that's hers. Honestly, it could be the contraption. You could make an argument for the contraption.
Take that!
And this is the proof. It was High Inquisitor, or the High Inquisitor. The pendant needed for that contraption in the bell tower. I have Miss Darklaw's testimony here. She said this pendant was hers. I'm gonna save. A good time to save. Imagine dying at this point. And so, the other girl in the picture is definitely Miss Darklaw. Is it? Is it really? Where is Darklaw right now? Eve, where are you going? I was expecting you, Miss Darklaw. I see that I was not mistaken about you. I trusted in your ability to get this far. High Inquisitor Darklaw, where did you just appear from? Does your memory not serve you well, Your Honor? You know what I am. I can disappear at will at any time I wish to. So, storyteller, everything has worked out just as you had written, O revered creator of Labyrinthia. Darklaw. Lady Darklaw. Miss Darklaw, did you enter the belfry with Miss Cantabella when you were little? Yes, I did. then you have memories of events from before 10 years ago. Certainly do. Order! Lady Darklaw, you were with me? Your memories have been suppressed by that man. But I was with Eve. Eve, huh? Eve the Black Cat? Yes, she has always been my dear friend. Or Eve Darkclaw. She was by my side on that day too. What a bizarre coincidence. Darklaw isn't my real name. What? And what is your real name? It's Eve. What? What? You are Eve? Say it ain't so. Spella. My dear friend Eve. It can't be. That flashback, was it real? Darklaw, why are you doing this? Are you trying to undo everything I've accomplished in the past 10 years? No, you have already ruined everything yourself. What is it that you want? What I want? My aim is to make the truth known, so that everything returns to how it should be. Darklaw, will you tell us what you remember about what happened back then, more than 10 years ago? Would be my pleasure. Still don't understand why we're going through this. It's the day of the fire festival. Spella and I went up to the bell tower. The wind was strong that day. When the sun had set, the festival began. It's true that the whole town was burned down that day. The fire consumed buildings and people, turning them into ashes. We were the only survivors. We stayed in the belfry while the world below us was being eaten up by hungry flames. Legendary fire is no fable. It happened more than 10 years ago.
Objection!
There are no such things as magic and fire dragons, so how could a whole town be destroyed in just one night? Yes, that's something I'd like to know as well. Even if we assume the celebratory fires got out of control, surely the whole town wouldn't have perished like that. Now it all makes sense. That was the missing piece of this puzzle. You mean, Professor? He means I should save right now, because I'm going to have to make a conclusion. It's supposed to make sense. I can imagine now what transpired that night. What happened in the belfry, and what caused the legendary fire. Of all the clues we need. The Inquisition has evidence to show us. I'd very much like to see it. What caused the legendary fire? I don't know. I'm like, the Bell of Ruin is my number one guess here, because like it rang and everyone fell unconscious, and you know, the fire spread, and then when everyone woke up, the town was on fire. I guess?
Have a look.
I guess? The cause of the fire is in the belfry. It was the bell? That bell had been made by the natives and later sealed underground. It was called the Bell of Ruin. Bell of Ruin. By the way, why does this bell have such an ominous name? Could it be because it's made of pure silver? pure silver. Exactly. Mr. Cantabella has told us earlier that everyone who lives here has a very peculiar condition. This condition makes people fall unconscious upon the sound of a certain metal being struck. And that metal is pure silver. Yes, and we've been told the condition is brought about by drinking the groundwater. Indeed. That bell was also the reason why the original inhabitants of this area decided to forsake it. It seems that the Bell of Ruin caused a devastating disaster. He's out to prove Aspella is Bezella, and maybe the storybook? I mean, it could have been... I'm sure there could have been an argument for anything at that point. I mean, even the picture book, you know, like... They were enemies at some point, and they had a fight at the top, and then, you know, they fought each other. And I'm sure what's really going to go down here, this is probably the conclusion, and this is probably how Layton wraps all this around to prove that Aspella is Bezella, by saying that Aspella rang the bell while she was up there, which caused her to fall unconscious, and because she rang the bell, she caused the legendary fire because everyone fell unconscious and the fire got out of control and everybody died, and that's basically what happened. I mean, I guess you could take it that way, I guess. To those who have gained entry to the sanctum, heed our words. You must not ring the Bell of Ruin. Bella struck the bell, everyone fell unconscious and couldn't prevent the fire. Yep, exactly. I can't help but wonder what disaster this bell had caused. An enormous bell made of silver, and the locals, with their peculiar condition, it's not too hard to imagine what happened. It's probably the same calamity as the one that happened over 10 years ago. And that is, well, what disaster happened to this town before Labyrinthia was built? The legendary fire. Now, let us contemplate the following scenario. What would happen if the Bell of Ruin were sounded during the fire festival? Oh, everyone who heard it would fall unconscious. As it was an annual festival, all the townspeople were assembled in the town square. Oh dear. Therefore, on the night of the fire festival over 10 years ago, all the residents instantly lost consciousness when the bell was struck. Oh no. Had it been even just slightly windy that day, the fires lit for the great witch Bezella would have gone out of control. And they would spread throughout the town with no one left to stop them, because everyone was unconscious. Exactly. That also includes the two girls who were in the belfry, Aspella and I. You were the closest to the source of the sound, so it was inevitable. When you recovered consciousness, it was already too late. The town had been swallowed by flames, as if a fire dragon had come to burn it. That was a calamity caused by the bell. Calamity? You say here that the cause of the calamity is the Great Witch Bezella. That night in this very town, Bezella was more than a mythical persona.
Bezella. She's losing it again.
Why did she do that?
The Bell of Ruin. Bezella!
Layton didn't need to do this. Layton didn't need to do this. This is not the work of a gentleman. This is not the work of a gentleman. But if the bell was sealed underground, why is it in the bell tower? Well, it disappeared from underground. The real question here, which they still need to solve, is why did the bell tower show up?